Hey yoga babies, me again. I promised you, did I promise you? I said that I would do a college video and this is it. So I just thought I'd get some things off my chest before I start. Firstly, I'm going through a period where I am doing yoga because I have to. Obviously when I started doing yoga it was because I love it and I do love yoga, but it gets to the point where if you're doing something for a course, you're doing it as like a chore. I don't know if anyone's ever studied English. People often say that they love books, but they hate reading them for their GCSEs or their A levels or whatever they're doing. It's a similar thing. It's just like, I'll get up and I'll have something to eat, but I have to do yoga. And I love yoga. It's ridiculous. But it is a point where I'm sort of making myself do it, and it is becoming a chore. Obviously, that's because I've got lots of pressure on and I've got exams soon. And I've got lots of things to worry about and stuff, and it all connects to the yoga. Once I finish the course, I think I'll have a big moment, and then I'll be back on the ball. But at the moment, I am just doing yoga because, I have an exam in it, and I have to know my stuff, and I have to read about it, and I have to know my shit. So that's what I'm going through at the moment. This is a temporary setback with my love of yoga. I'm not going to go, and mess up my whole career or anything.
Property, I am disgusted at how much you have copied my husband from the...
So in other news, although I have been stressing a lot about my course and I did have a big teaching practice, it went very well, and I've discovered that basically the worst thing at all about the teaching practice is the lead up to it and the nerves. The actual teaching practice itself isn't usually a problem. I haven't done assisting yet, so I haven't assisted a whole class. I haven't done that yet. That's going to be in May, so I'm really bricking it because I know I have to be seen by the whole class. But everyone who does it is fine, and we're all friends, and I know there's nothing to worry about. It's just the nerves. Getting over the nerves is the worst bit. So basically, on the Saturday, we all turned up. I was going to be a little bit late, so I was rushing a bit, and I got there and everyone was stuck outside. It turns out one of the guys that works at the gym had not turned up. I think they just forget about us because we're a separate outfit. We're like the yoga people who come sometimes. They forget we exist. So some guy was meant to do a class there and had cancelled it or something and hadn't turned up, and we had to wait for the key. We rung and they said the receptionist was going to be there in 20 minutes. Now bear in mind, this is a 200 hours course. You have to complete 200 hours. So one of the main things about punctuality is we do a morning practice for 2 hours, and if you're 15 minutes late for that, you have to sit it out because you've kind of not warmed up and stuff. So if you're more than 15 minutes late for the morning practice, you kind of sit it out, and you have to re-sit the morning practice at another weekend, and you have to pay. Obviously in this case it wasn't our fault, so we don't have to pay, but at the same time it's a 200-hour course, and we missed most of our teaching practice, so we're going to have to get together some weekend, all of us, and we're going to have a little yoga session. It will probably be quite nice, but the fact is it was just really annoying. We had to wait outside in the cold, and then we all went to Pret, because Pret a Manger is our local lunch outlet. Hashtag no spons. So basically, all these yoga chicks turned up at Pret. Now we all normally, most of us go to Pret on our lunch break, but we're not normally all there at once. And we were just crammed in with backpacks full of books and the yoga mat, and we were in the way, and some didn't know where to sit, and it was just so shit. So we got off to a really bad start. After that, we just discussed that we would meet up and make up the time, and it was fine. It wasn't our fault. And basically, the day went quite quickly, and it was quite interesting. So yeah, that was the Saturday, and then we had the Sunday. Sunday is when we do teaching practice. So I don't know why it's always on a Sunday. I think it's just the Saturday kind of warms us up a bit for it. So everyone got into pairs to do teaching practice, and I was the loner going, "Miss, I don't have a partner," just because I'm always the awkward one. And there was a lady there who was actually sitting out because she was injured, but she could still pair up with me and teach me. She would just teach me verbally rather than actually practicing. So the teacher was milling around and everyone was in pairs teaching, and like no one was on the spot. It was quite nice because we were all doing it together. And she would teach me and she would forget some bits because we were told that we're not allowed to look at our lists, we're not allowed to look at anything. We need to at least try and do it from memory, and if we make a mistake, we're not going to get in trouble or anything. We just need to practice doing it from memory. So when she forgot something, which is just inevitable, like there's nothing wrong with that, I'd be like, I think the next one's bound angle, and I'd kind of help her out a little bit. And then we did the whole teaching practice, and then we were meant to, like, I wanted to give feedback because we normally give feedback. So I would say, you know, I didn't say you forgot things because it doesn't matter. I said, oh no, it was good, I liked your descriptions, and I gave her quite a positive feedback. And then she turned around and started giving me feedback, which was weird because I hadn't been teaching her. She was giving me feedback as, like, the student. And she was like, well, it's very hard to teach when somebody's clearly not focused, looking around the room, touching their hair, touching their clothes. So I was like, whoa, I'm sorry, like, I didn't realise I was doing that, but that's fine, I'll take that on board. You know, I won't do it again. But she didn't stop, and she continued going on at me like, okay, the teacher was watching us, and we were all quite unfocused, and it's quite distracting, but you were looking around the room, you were moving a piece of fluff from your leggings or something. I'd really appreciate it if you just ignore your hair if it's in your face. Ignore something if it's on your leggings. And I had no idea what she was talking about because I wasn't consciously, like, aware of touching my hair or my leggings. I think it's just what I do. So I said, like, sorry, I'm quite fidgety and I move my hands a lot, but I'll work on that and I won't do it again. And she still kept talking. She wouldn't leave me alone. So I was like, whoa, okay, I was trying to help you. I said, we're working as a team, so I was trying to give you a hand and help you out. And I hope that you would help me out too. And she just sat there like, And this was really annoying me by now, so I was like, no, you're nodding your head, but you don't agree with me. You're just going like this. I said, say something in response. Like, don't just sit there nodding your head. Anyway, so this was really annoying. And then I was about to have my turn teaching her. Like, she would just listen to what I was going to say or something. Because she couldn't practice because she was injured. By the way, I was also injured. I had a big bruise on my foot, which we have to disclose at the beginning of the lesson if we've hurt ourselves. And I said I had a big bruise on the top of my foot because I accidentally kicked a coffee table. So bear in mind that she was injured, but she was poking my foot and adjusting it and putting all her weight on it. And when I said ow and asked her to stop, she looked really offended. Just a side note, yeah? To be a yoga teacher, you should probably not, exacerbate people's injuries and then stress out at them when they don't like it. That aside, the teacher decided to mix us up, probably because it was an uneven number or something. So instead of me teaching her, I was teaching two other people, so we were all in threes. So I was here on my mat, and there were two people beside me on their mat, and we had to teach the sequence, like do it, and teach verbally as well. And we had to do it from memory, and we couldn't look at our sheets. So I did, and the teacher's like watching me, so it's kind of nerve-wracking. But I did okay. And then I got feedback from them saying that I taught well, and I had a very nice, clear voice, and they liked all the things that I was doing, and yeah, I forgot some bits, but I reined it back in, and I got really positive feedback. So after being made to feel shit, and like, I'd been really negative or something, or that I, wasn't doing it properly, I got some really positive feedback. Actually, I just got emailed from my tutor this morning. We all got email feedback, and she said this. Good thinking, with something I said. Well done. You corrected yourself without any fuss when you made a mistake with the breath. Good job. Make sure you come up all the way between... there were two poses. I said come up halfway. I meant to come up all the way. Never mind. Good positive language offered. If you're ready to do this. Yeah, she's just quoting what I said. And then she writes, nice. You gave some interesting variations. Blah, blah, blah. Watch your own alignment. Go through the pose analysis. Practice the exam sequence. Practice, practice, practice. Yeah. That's what my teacher said. So after getting so much negativity, and feeling like I didn't know what I was doing, blah, blah, blah. It turned out I was okay. At the end, the teacher did give us some general feedback, so not personalised to each of us, just stuff that we need to work on, blah, blah, blah. And one of the things she said, she'd obviously seen what had happened between me and the other woman. She said that we're not to help each other with if the person makes a mistake. She said help. She didn't say constantly correcting. And she looked at the woman and she said, I know, and kind of acknowledged that she knew what had gone on. And she spoke really positively, and she said that she understands that when we're doing that, we're trying to help the person, and that's okay, but we're not meant to, and we can't do it in the exam. Although it goes all against all of our sort of yogic principles that we want to help people, and that we know it's helping, at the same time, we need to try and not do it. So she gave feedback that I had done something I wasn't meant to do, but she was completely positive. She wasn't rude. She did acknowledge that I was trying to help. She didn't say it was me. She didn't tell people it was me, but it was obviously me. She acknowledged that I was trying to help, and she told me really positively how to do things without being rude. So I don't know why some people can be positive with things and some people can't. But hopefully we're all learning and we can all get through this and be positive yoga teachers. Fingers crossed. So that was my college weekend after a kind of shaky setback and some general shakiness in general areas. It went pretty well. So what we've been told to do now, we've got to practice the exam sequence, obviously, for the exam. We've also been told to learn how to make sequences ourselves. So we had help making we practiced making little mini sequences that are really short. So we're practicing doing that, and we're meant to, in our homework, sort of for ourselves, make exam sequences and teach them. And we've been encouraged to use our creativity and put our personality into it and our humour and just completely put ourselves into it and make it ours, which is really nice because I don't like just copying things for exams. Like, it's nice to do things your own way. And when I'm teaching professionally, I won't be able to, I can't just teach the exam sequence. I have to learn to make things for myself. So that's really exciting. So I'm going to get on now and start making some sequences and get creative. Green is not a creative colour. Anyway, so I think I remembered everything I wanted to say. That was my yoga weekend. And I hope that you guys have a lovely month. I will see you next month with my next college weekend. It's getting so close to the end of the course. Oh, it's so scary. And I'll see you in the meantime because I'll keep making videos. Yeah, that's it. So, I love you, yoga babies. Namaste, goodbye.